So continuing in our second of series on a new paradigm for aging and reversal of the aging process, I'd like to point out how to understand the process of how we age and how the way that current aging is viewed. Now, it's turned out in the last 10 to 20 years that a number of departments and universities around the country have actually developed their departments of gerontology to really study more specifically this phenomenon of aging. And I like to share with you some of the concepts that they've come up with in terms of how we describe aging. One of them is what they call the concepts of normal aging. And they looked at 3 different ways in which normally we age, or at least this is the way it's thought that we age. We take difference with that to say that we can actually change that. But one of the concepts of normal aging is cellular aging, meaning that the cells we have in our body basically wear out over time. So that's one concept, normal aging. Things are programmed to actually degrade. The next one of my favorites, is called random damage. That in terms of the trauma that comes in our bodies from accidents and trauma of all types, that this causes damage to the tissue in our body as well. And the third one is called cross-linkage, that the proteins and fibers within the fascial system of the body itself are really influencing our aging. And that's why often when you see older people, you think of them being bent over and actually being influenced by that way. So that's yet another way that we think about this. Now, one other aspect that we can look at that researchers have begun to look at is what's called homeostatic imbalance or allostatic load. And basically what it means is when stresses come into our body, the way we deal with them and how long it takes to recover is an influence of aging. So that's why you look at older people, often they're just not as flexible. They're crankier. And that means they have less resilience in their nervous system to deal with emergencies and our recovery from life. So it really is a reflection of the flexibility of our nervous system per se. So that's called homeostatic imbalance. So all 3 of these are considered to be some normal measures of normal aging. Over and above that, there's what's called pathological aging or accelerated aging. And 3 very popular concepts in the Department of Gerontology are considered: 1, the cellular mitochondria. Mitochondria are like the switch engines in our cells that convert things to energy. And it's thought that the mitochondria actually fail over time and they're less efficient. We literally have less energy when we age, especially if there's more stresses to the body. And another one that a lot of people are talking about these days are inflammatory mechanisms. Those diseases of aging, which often are very inflammatory in nature that I mentioned in other places. So the idea is, first of all, there's inflammatory processes in the body. And then over time, in some cases, these inflammatory processes can overflow into the brain. So essentially, toxins can accumulate and add to a number of insults in the body. So that's yet another factor in looking at accelerating aging. And scientists are also looking, and some people have won Nobel Prizes in this research, they're looking at the telomerase axis. And think of DNA as a strand. We know about DNA being a strand. Think of the end strands on the DNA, kind of like a loose strand in our tennis shoes that unravels. And their idea is that this telomerase axis actually unravels over time. And it less faithfully transmits our genetic information as we age. So these are all aspects of pathological or accelerated aging. So that's a little bit to think about, because if we understand how to reverse the aging process, first we need to understand what some of the current theories are about what normal aging is and what accelerates aging as well. And the next little piece on this, in terms of reversal of the aging process, I'll share with you some positive outcomes of what we can do to change this. Thank you.